in a previous video, I discussed about different quality models. Now in this one, I'll very briefly discuss about the Uyghur's quality attributes. Okay, it's a list of attributes that we'll see. So what Uyghurs have done, so he proposed, or let's say he proposed two categories of quality attributes, the internal and the external one. Internal quality attributes are those that are important for, let's say, for the designer, for the coder, for the programmer, internal, and external ones are those that are important for the external parties, and the most important external party, users. Okay, so first, let's look at the external quality attributes that are, again, of some importance or quite importance to the users, primarily to the users. Okay. Okay. Now let's start with the availability, the extent to which the system services are available. Obviously, I mean, you would like your system to be available all the time, 24/7, but for some cases it might not be possible even to achieve that. So if that's the case, then you would rather prefer to define the exact times that you think that it is absolutely important for your system to be up and running. Okay, so we'll come to these, like the details of there will be, I'll also give some examples for each one of them, but now what I'm going to do, I'll just very briefly, very quickly go through or introduce each one of them. Okay, installability, how easy it is to correctly install, uninstall, or reinstall the application. Now I must admit this used to be a much more of an issue in 90s and early 2000s, but now it is less of an issue, I must say. So how easy it is. I mean, it used to be the case that it's not easy, it wasn't very easy to install and particularly uninstall applications, but now again, so people have finally sorted that thing out. Integrity, to the extent to which the system protects against data inaccuracy and loss, and this is something that's still very much important. Okay? Obviously nobody wants to lose his or her data. Interoperability, how easy it is for your system to exchange data with other systems or interconnect with other systems, and that has become even more important right now. So does your system, for instance, use some sort of a data exchange standard, or are you just coming up with your own kind of a data exchange method which is not compliant to any other system, which means that you can't connect properly with any other system? That is very, very important. It's getting more important, in fact. Performance, obvious, how quickly and predictably the system, your system, responds to user inputs and other events. Of course, no need to mention, it is very important. Reliability, the same, how long the system runs before experiencing any problem, any failure, mean time to failure, and so on. We'll discuss more about that. Robustness, very close to reliability, or let's say very much linked, correlated with the reliability, how well the system responds to unexpected operating conditions. Right? So I mean, if it is not very good at that, of course the reliability degrades, goes down as well. Safety, how well the system protects against injury and damage. So it's not like security, that's the difference. Safety, and obviously this is less of an issue if you're using some sort of I'm not sure, in fact mobile systems might as well can cause some sort of safety problems, I don't know, but particularly valid, for instance, for MRI machines. Extremely important for MRI machines. In fact, there are like standards for that, and like there are even like safety requirements, engineering, a field in its own. We have had in fact master student very recently who have worked on that. Security, again, how well the system protects against unauthorized access to the application and its data. And that is, I mean, I can't stress more on the importance of that thing. And finally, the usability, how easy it is for potential users of your system to learn, understand, remember, and use the system. Okay, so this is the list. I don't know how many, I think it's 10 external quality attributes that are important primarily for your users. Okay, good. Now let's see those that are primarily important, or let's say important primarily to designers and developers. So internal efficiency, how efficient your system uses the computer resources. Okay, so it's internal. Of course, I mean, the internal quality attributes also influence the external quality attributes. I mean, if it is not very efficient, then we may expect the system to have a less performance, or to have a decreased performance. Modifiability, extremely important, but not for the user. I mean, user might not care at all, but you would, as if you're a designer or a programmer, you would care a lot if your system is not very modifiable or not very much maintainable. Okay, so if it is just scattered all around in the background, it's just like a mess in the background, then it would take a lot of time of your time to fix the things, to really add something, to just, anyway, you know, to improve something. Portability, how easy or how easily the system can be made work in other operating environments. It used to be a much more issue then, but still, like if you have an Android, let's say, application, how easy it is to come up with an iOS version of the same application. Reusability, a lot to do with the modifiability or maintainability. In fact, to what extent the components can be reused in other systems, and that is again very important. Particularly for the designers. I mean, if you're in a software organization that you have one module here, one module there, and if there is some sort of a possibility to reuse some components in different places, libraries for instance, then you should be able to do that. If not, then you'll be wasting a lot of time. Scalability, how easy or how easily the system can grow to handle more users, transactions, servers, and other extensions. And that is still a very, very valid. I mean, you can just have some sort of a system that, in case the number of users increase quite significantly, then it just collapses. Okay, so you wouldn't want that your system to have that kind of a property. Verifiability, how readily the developers and testers can confirm that the software was implemented correctly. That's something very difficult to achieve, but it is what it is. We have that as well, so let me just use that. Okay, good. Now, these were the external and internal quality attributes based on Uyghur's models. So what we're going to do next, in fact, will be looking at the steps, for instance, to come up with nicely specified quality requirements. Okay, but for now, see you later.